Thank you Milkshake for kindly sponsoring today's video. Hi everyone! Welcome back to this month's Plan With Me video. If you're new here, my name is Cherise. Today it's time for my November 2021 bullet journal setup. Time is moving so fast. It is already November next month. The first few weeks of October for me has been kinda unproductive. That's why I wasn't able to post new videos that much. Maybe because of the weather here now. But I'm excited to show you my November bullet journal spreads. I did something different this time. So if you're setting up with me, grab your stationery supplies. Or if you're just looking for some inspiration, I hope you get some new ideas here. I'm using gouache paints again for this setup, and I'm going to paint it directly on the pages. This month, my theme will be all about archery. I haven't seen much of this theme for a bullet journal, so I thought it would be cool to try it. As always, I sketch everything out first with a pencil before painting. I don't usually use gouache on my bullet journal because I'm honestly intimidated using it. I think I've said this before, but it's actually growing on me now since I tried it again on my October spreads. And I think that is one of the things that will help to get comfortable with one medium. It's to keep trying to use it. For my cover page, I'm painting an archeress. I painted the background first with the colors I mixed from the beginning. A taupe shade behind this yellow circle and olive green for this inverted U shape. The first layers of this background was quite difficult to get even, so later on I will add another layer. Then I proceeded with painting the lady. Though I have said that gouache is growing on me now, this is actually my first time painting a character, so I was absolutely nervous about it. Since it's my first time, I just went for an easy approach, which is not to try to achieve a realistic figure. I asked you guys over my Instagram of themes you would like to see, and thank you for the amazing ideas. There are so many incredible suggestions. One actually caught my eye, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to push it through because I didn't know yet how to put it all together, so I will just save it on my list of themes for the next setups. I decided to go for this archer theme because I was rewatching some movies again the past week where there were archery moments, such as Brave, Tomb Raider, Hansel and Gretel, Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, which were the inspirations of this theme. November also happens to be the month of the zodiac sign Sagittarius, which has the archer symbol. At this point, you can see that I'm all over the place. I don't have a specific area that I think I should paint first. Rather, I just paint wherever. The first layers of this painting was definitely a struggle for me because I felt like it's not what I imagined it to be. So I was in the verge of redoing it, but my mind says, keep going. The end result doesn't have to be perfect. So I paused for a moment and looked at the painting in a distance because I tend to work really close to the painting, and trust me, it makes a difference and actually help evaluate your work. I enjoyed painting the outfit here, but I still wanted to separate the character from the background because I added another layer of green here and it appeared darker now, so I just outlined the whole figure with some darker lines to define all the details using this detailed paint brush. By doing this, I started to see it slowly coming together. As you can see, I left the face for some time because my hand is shaky with details like this. So after everything in this painting is done, I can really focus on that. I also forgot to add the bow string here, so I just added it off camera with a finally done. I must say this painting is definitely a learning experience for me, but I enjoyed the process nevertheless, and it will be something I can look back and see what I can improve on. But anyway, let's move on to the other side of the spread, which is my quote page for this month. I painted a circle on the middle to match the shape from the cover page with the same color. While I waited for it to dry, I proceeded with writing the quote that says, "You only hit what you aim at." And then I painted an arrow upwards on top with a tribal design that represents the goals I wanted to achieve and to aim high in life. And that is all for this cover and quote spread. It's time to flip through to the next one. I'm doing a calendar on the right side of this spread, and this time I went again for a smaller calendar because I don't have much of events going on for November anyway. I'm using these Tombow dual tip brush pens in yellow ochre, avocado, and sand to match the colors of this theme. I did 3 round shapes using the fine tip of these colors on top of the page, and then beside it, I wrote November again using the Tombow Fudenosuke heart tip brush pen. It's been a while since the last time I used this, but I definitely recommend this one if you're trying to learn calligraphy. I created a very simple calendar here with horizontal lines having 21 dot spaces and 15 dot spaces vertically using the sand Tombow brush pen. Below the calendar will be a room for my monthly goals, and now we're gonna jump to the second painting of this setup, and that is another archeress with her bow and arrow aiming to the goals section of this spread. I want to keep the same colors to this painting to save more time instead of mixing another set of colors for the skin and outfit. So I'm just gonna use what's on my palette for this initial setup, and maybe I will go for more colors for the next spreads I'll make towards the second week of November. And if you want to see those spreads later on, I recommend checking out my bullet journal Instagram page that I will link on the video description. Just like the first archeress painting, I went first for the background and then I worked on to the skin, hair, and the medieval archery clothing. Her body is definitely not in good proportion, but I also like the idea of it not being proportioned because she doesn't have to be slim here, but just to portray the determination with the bow and arrow fixed towards the goals. I've always admired archery as a sport and a recreational activity. It is one of the events I look forward during Olympics as well. As an archer would say, no hurried movements and violent exertion, no ungraceful attitude are necessary. Just quiet and fluid motions. Let me know if you have tried archery or maybe your favorite sport in the comments. Back to the painting. At this point, I'm starting to get the hang of this. I think the cover page is always the settling part for me. As a first-timer with painting characters, I'm also surprised and feeling a bit proud of myself to be able to paint the face, especially the eyes, because I personally find it as one of the hardest parts, and the sketch actually got blurry on top of the skin. I initially thought of using a small fine liner to draw the eyes, but I'm glad this worked out anyway. But after that, this painting and the whole monthly calendar and goal spread is finally done. The next one will be my content planner. But before we continue, I wanted to take this time to talk a little about today's sponsor, Milkshake. I love Milkshake app. I've talked about them before. It is where you can create a fun, stylish, and engaging mobile website for free without desktops, graphic design, or coding skills. You can start, launch, or grow your business ideas, talents, passion projects, promotions, and so much more. Everything is done on your mobile phone and in just a few minutes. I actually made my mobile website through Milkshake app and it was super easy. As someone who doesn't have the means and time for an actual website, this app absolutely made everything happen. Ever since I created my Milkshake mobile website, I've seen huge improvements to my linked views or interactions, affiliate and local shop sales compared to my previous mobile website. This app truly allowed me to maximize my link in bio on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms because I got a lot of good stuff to share, plus I needed something that will help me deliver it in a stylish way, and Milkshake is definitely the perfect app to use. They have a lot of design templates, lovely font selections, and colors to choose from. It also allows you to track your mobile website performance through Milkshake's built-in app analytics called Insights, plus choosing to enable the push notification alerts you when your mobile website is getting a lot of views. So if you're looking for the perfect way to connect your community to all you say, sell, and share, or just to show the world what makes you unique, you can do that by tapping the link on the video description and start creating your free Milkshake website today. Once again, thank you so much Milkshake for supporting my channel. Now let's get back to the journal and continue with the setup. So now I'm creating my content planner on the left side of the spread. First, we're gonna write the title on top of the page along with the 3 colored dots. I'm doing a calendar layout again for this with the same dimensions as the monthly calendar. Since I'm most active on Instagram and YouTube, those are the 2 social handles I'm only planning for. I do have a TikTok page where I occasionally post snippets of my bullet journal setups. You can also find a link to that below and maybe give it a follow. And then under the content planner is my socials tracker where I track my followers and subscriber count for both. On the space beside the socials tracker, I'm doing a little decoration. I'm drawing a simple bag of arrows with a round background using a brush pen instead of paints. I will be using brush pens for the next 3 spreads, so do not make this video even longer. I also listed all the brush pen colors and supplies on the video description if you're interested in any of them. I think brush pens would also be great for the cover page and calendar illustrations should you recreate this theme, so don't hesitate to do so and feel free to tag me on Instagram so I can see it as well. And then to the right side of the spread, I drew an illustration of a bow and arrow using a black pen on top of this yellow inverted U shape. After drawing that, I also added some stars around it. This page is going to be my playlist. I only drew boxes with play buttons for now without the list of the songs because I'm still looking for some songs to add. So if you have any song recommendations, I would appreciate if you leave them in the comments as well so I can listen to them and add them on the list later on. And that is all for my content planner, socials tracker, and playlist spread. Let's move on to the next spread to set up my habit and mood trackers. I started by adding the same shapes on the corners of the spread as they are one of the main design elements for this setup. For my habit tracker, I decided to go for a horizontal layout again. Each habit fulfilled will be marked with a bullet. I think this is one of the simplest habit tracker layouts I've included in my setups, and it actually went well with the layout of this spread as a whole that I'm going for. And then below is my mood tracker. I picked the colors first for each mood, and then I'm drawing 15 downward arrows showing the fletching and the shaft only. Each will represent 2 days. I will color the fletch for the first day and then the shaft on the second day and so on, instead of drawing 30 of them. I also drew a variety of fletches to make them look different from one another. And that is my habit and mood trackers all done as well. I really like how it looks, but now it's time to flip to the next spread to create my shopping list and package tracker. I'm following the same layout from my October bullet journal setup. I did a coffee and cozy autumn or fall theme on that plan with me video, so if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to check it out later if you're looking for some cozy bullet journal theme inspiration. On the other side of the spread, I wanted to make a list of shows that I can binge watch next month. I find myself watching movies that I already watched, but this time I want to see something new, so making a list of them would be nice. I know it's weird to write a title at the bottom of the page, but allow me to do that just this time, just to make the movies and shows title aligned with the titles on the left side. Then on the far right, I drew an archery target in a side view. I also had to include another shape somewhere here to complete the look of this spread. have one more to set up in this video, which is my first weekly spread for November. I started by drawing 6 boxes on the left page. I enjoyed last month's weekly layouts that I wanted to incorporate them again here in this setup. It is very simple, minimal, and have more room for my weekly tasks. And then I simply added quarter round shape on the top left corner of this page. On the right side, I wrote the number of the week on top, and then I'm adding a horizontal layout with 26 by 5 dot spaces for some events and priority tasks for each day. I also decided to include another quote on this part of the page that says, "When life is dragging you back with difficulties, just imagine it is going to launch you into something great." When I saw this quote, I just had to write it and include it here because it totally resonated with me at this time. It is something I needed to hear, and maybe you need to. So I hope this quote motivated and inspired you in some way. Now on the bottom part of this page is a mini calendar and highlighting the days of the week with a gray brush pen. I wanted to do one more painting of an Archery here, again with the same template as the first 2 paintings. I ended up liking this one the most because it took me less time to paint it, and it is also how I imagined it to look like. The facial features was definitely easier for me as well this time, and I wish I did the same thing with the previous painting. But anyway, this gave me an idea for the next weekly spreads I'm gonna make. If you are still here, I would love to know what you think about this theme, if it's something you would try and have tried on your bullet journal. If you're using gouache paints, I would also love to read some tips that you have learned along the way. And that is finally it for this whole November setup. Before we end this video, let's do a final flip through of all the spreads for this November 2021 bullet journal setup. This setup definitely tested my patience, and if you're wondering how long I took to film it, It took me 3 days. I know this is a little painting heavy setup, but I hope you found something useful for your own bullet journal. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate all the support you're giving to this channel. Until then, I will see you on my next video. Have a wonderful month of November, everyone. Bye!